Hello, we are live. It is Foundation Friday, February 28th, 2020, last day of February. Wait! I know you know, it's a leap year. One more day of February tomorrow. Anyway, let's get right to it. Another in our multi-part series on the great book, How to Be Rich, by J. Paul Getty, written in the early 60s when he was the richest man on earth. And we are into part two, if you've been following along, and if not, we're still into part two. And so here is where, now I translate, I don't translate whatever, a lot of the wording in the book because Getty always just says man, so I'll say man or woman or person, and he talks a lot about business executives, business owners, entrepreneurs. I'm just going to make everything about business owners. A lot of what he talks about looking for a top executive in his multi-billion-dollar oil company is what it takes to be a successful business owner. So I'm going to read from the book, as always, when it gets to his lessons and his words, but I switch the words a little bit to modernize and update them. So let's get right to it. He talks about what this is a chapter is called What Makes a Business Owner, a Successful Business Owner. And Getty says right here, an executive or a business owner's principal duty is to direct the activities, the work of those under him or her. So the business owner's principal duty is to direct the activities, the work of those under him or her, and therefore it follows that the good business owner must think and act as a leader. So this to me is the most important part of what I'm going to talk about here for the next few minutes is business owners, a lot of the times, especially nowadays, thanks to the internet, having all kinds of information and all kinds of, user-friendly software and whatever, get too bogged down in the doing part of the business and want to do a lot of stuff and wear a lot of hats and, I'm the chief bottle washer and all that kind of stuff you hear. But listen to the richest man on earth tell you that your principal duty as a business owner is to be a leader, is to lead others. And nowadays, that includes technology, software, robotics. So you're leading your business, but you're not doing all of the work. You're getting as much of the work done through others and technology as you can, and you're stepping up and being a leader. So think about that the next time you keep getting bogged down in the doing of your business and think, man, my principal role is really to be a leader. So let's see if I can set up some systems and hire some people and get some software going so I can lead this enterprise here and not simply just be the doer, because that's going to keep you small forever. Then he talks about what it takes to be a leader and some of the traits of a successful business owner. Number one is the leader. So, and he goes on for pages. Oh, look at this. Here's an example. I don't know if you can tell, but on the bottom of this page here, look at that. Worn out, that's like a thumbprint from how many times I held this book like this with my thumb until I wore out all those words. I mean, this whole book is, you can see how cracked it is at the seams and how it is underlined and dog-eared and asterisked over and over throughout this book. When you find a good one and dive into that one over and over. My beautiful wife, Michelle, I laugh a lot because she likes to watch the same movies over and over. Well, I like to read the same books over and over when you get a good one. So traits of a successful business owner, number one, leadership. Also, ability to communicate. I talk about that a lot here about marketing, advertising, and sales is all about persuasion, ability to communicate. Interest and enthusiasm. No one can properly do anything unless you're interested in it. But your interest must go far beyond the limits of your own particular expertise or job or role. You got to have overall enthusiasm. Loyalty is another important quality. And then finally he says, among other traits, I imagine, that most laymen, non-business owners, would list as being desirable are such things as honesty, industry, and imagination. However, I've purposely omitted these and several others because I consider them to be self-evident, and I think it's superfluous, unnecessary to mention them. Certainly, no one in his right mind would ever hire anyone if he had the least suspicion that that person was dishonest, lazy, or unimaginative. No one would ever hire anyone to lead or run anything who had that. So those are the traits, according to J. Paul Getty, of a successful business owner, successful leader, successful executive, however you want to put it. That's according to who at the time he wrote that was the richest man on earth. So perhaps you and I should attempt as well as we can to follow his suggestions, to be loyal, to have interest and enthusiasm in what we're doing, to become an expert at persuasion, sales, marketing, advertising, whatever you want to call it, and to be, above all, a great leader of other people and of systems, of technology, of robotics, of the overall business, and not put our head down and bury it in the sand and hide out in the doing part of the business. Kiss of death, that'll keep you small forever. So that's it for this week's Foundation Friday episode on J. Paul Getty's How to Be Rich. Next Friday, unless something else comes along, we'll dive in to the next chapter for another lesson from the man who was the richest man on earth, the most successful businessman on earth at the time. And I'll be back tomorrow on Social Media Saturday with a tip for you, specifically how to make money and how to properly use social media. I'll catch you then. Over and out. Enjoy your weekend. It's supposed to be 78 and sunny tomorrow here in beautiful Arizona. I know there's blizzards and all kinds of crazy winter weather happening here as March rolls in like a lion, but we are just loving it here, so wish you were here. Adios.